The underwater world has always fascinated us with its mysteries, but the most intriguing and unexplored place remains the Mariana Trench. Modern researchers, equipped with the latest technologies, have descended to its depths in search of answers to questions humanity has been asking for centuries. At a depth of more than 6 miles below sea level, in darkness and under immense pressure, they made a discovery that shocked the entire world. Amid eerie shadows and impenetrable darkness, they found the remains of an ancient city, which seemed frozen in time before their very eyes. The scientists, accustomed to intriguing discoveries, could not believe their eyes. The streets and structures, preserved against all laws of physics and common sense, bore witness to a past full of mysteries. These incredible discoveries raised many questions. How could a civilization exist in such extreme conditions? The researchers launched a true scientific assault to unravel the secrets of the ancient builders. And although modern technology allows us to peer into the very depths of the ocean, it does not provide answers to all the questions. For centuries, the trench was hidden from human eyes, and now, as its secrets begin to be revealed, scientists are striving not to miss a single detail. Every inch is examined and recorded, every hypothesis is tested with particular care. Somewhere in the depths lies a story that has been hidden for centuries, and deciphering its secrets could change our understanding not only of Earth's past, but also of the possibility of life in the most unexpected corners of the planet. However, unraveling all the mysteries is far from easy, and each new step may lead to even more questions. An ancient city at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, myth or reality? Descending into the darkness and crushing pressure at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, scientists discovered something that could easily be mistaken for a mirage. The remains of an ancient city, with its streets and structures, seemed to embody a legend. However, the researchers were confronted with undeniable facts: stone buildings that had retained their shape despite millions of years underwater. These megaliths, masterfully fitted together, bore witness to a sophisticated architecture that neither time nor the elements had managed to destroy. Carefully laid stone blocks, adorned with mysterious symbols, hinted that life once thrived here, a culture whose existence no one had ever suspected. With the help of precise instruments and camera-equipped robots, the researchers were able to capture clear images of what they saw, and a picture of the ancient city's layout began to take shape. The unusual structures and building frameworks provoked bewilderment, making one wonder what technologies or knowledge their creators might have possessed. But among all the discoveries, the remarkably well-preserved statues made of an unknown material became yet another mystery for scientists. They depicted strange beings whose appearances were unfamiliar to modern anthropologists. Each new find at the bottom of the Mariana Trench only reinforced the sense that this ancient city was something much greater than a simple settlement. In their search for traces of life, scientists discovered strange artifacts clearly intended for everyday use, which still needed to be explained. All of this raised an important question: who were these mysterious builders, and how could the city have been preserved underwater for so long? This discovery made one wonder whether we had previously encountered evidence of a long-lost civilization. But the answers still remained hidden in the shadows, and the researchers knew they had a long journey ahead in unraveling these mysteries left on the ocean floor. The builders of the underwater civilization. Who were they? As they uncovered the history of the builders of this underwater civilization, scientists encountered astonishing evidence of a highly developed culture that no one had known about before. Unique artifacts found among the ruins revealed the use of materials and tools that did not match any known ancient technology. These discoveries became a real sensation, as they could point to an underwater life that we can only dream of. Among the stone structures, remnants of sophisticated water supply systems and possibly methods of energy generation were discovered, indicating an understanding of complex engineering solutions. Some of the tools found, made from unknown alloys, were astonishing in their complexity and precision. Their purpose remained a mystery. Scientists, in their attempts to understand their functions, only became more convinced that the builders possessed incredible knowledge that allowed them to exist under the pressure of the ocean. The discovered images carved on the walls of the structures also attracted great interest. They depicted scenes from the lives of the city's inhabitants, showcasing moments from an unknown culture, including rituals and everyday activities. Among them were also vivid images of mysterious creatures possessing features not found in modern representatives of the animal kingdom. These images have given rise to numerous theories about possible contact with aliens or the evolution of humans in the conditions of the underwater world. Despite the many discoveries, many aspects of the lives and origins of these ancient builders remain a mystery. The remarkable preservation of the structures and artifacts challenges traditional notions about the capabilities of ancient people. This mysterious legacy requires thorough study and may perhaps help shed light on what happened in the ocean depths thousands of years ago. However, much remains to be discovered, and research at the bottom of the Mariana Trench continues, attracting scientists from all over the world in hopes of unraveling the secrets hidden in the darkness of the ocean depths. Life in extreme conditions. How did the inhabitants of the ancient city survive? Turning to life beneath the ocean surface, you begin to realize just how extraordinary the living conditions of the ancient city's inhabitants were. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the pressure exceeds 1,000 atmospheres, and the temperature is barely above freezing. In such extreme conditions, organizing normal life seemed impossible. However, the discoveries made by scientists tell a different story. The discovered remains of residential structures indicate that the city's inhabitants were masters of adaptation. The walls of the buildings, reinforced with an unknown compound, withstood unimaginably high pressure, which points to their understanding of materials and their strength. Inside the premises, archaeologists found traces of heating systems that could have operated using geothermal energy. Unique finds, such as filters and oxygen supply systems, suggest that they knew how to extract air from water. Remains of genetically modified plants grown in special hydroponic complexes were also discovered, indicating sophisticated methods of food production. Numerous tools used by the inhabitants were found in perfect condition, as if they had just been placed on the shelf. This proved that they understood how to combat corrosion and other destructive environmental factors. These discoveries once again indicate that, despite the harshest conditions, the city's inhabitants managed to create a self-sustaining ecosystem. But what happened next? Was this a sustainable existence, or did overwhelming forces disrupt this remarkable balance? The mystery of the disappearance. What happened to the inhabitants of the underwater settlement? Research continues, and now it is time to unravel one of the most intriguing mysteries, the disappearance of the residents of this astonishing underwater city. The first findings suggest the possibility of a sudden cataclysm. The discovered cracks in the walls of some buildings and the scattered remains of household items everywhere indicate a possible earthquake or underwater landslide that could have destroyed the city's way of life. However, there is another hypothesis, a gradual change in environmental conditions that forced the inhabitants to leave their homes. Interestingly, in some parts of the city, researchers found traces reminiscent of preparations for an emergency evacuation, neatly packed belongings, tools, and even food supplies, all suggesting that they were gathered in haste. On the walls, there are images that may be warning symbols about impending danger. All of this suggests that the disappearance was not accidental, but rather caused by an awareness of a looming threat over the city. There are also more mysterious discoveries. Deep inside one of the caves at the foot of the city, strange inscriptions and symbols have been found, which may indicate an attempt by the inhabitants to preserve important knowledge or warnings for future generations. These symbols have not yet been deciphered, but they add another layer to the story of this mysterious civilization's disappearance. The incredible intertwining of facts and hypotheses only heightens the intrigue. Some believe that the inhabitants may have tried to migrate to deeper, safer areas or sought refuge on the surface. But for now, all of this remains mere speculation. The mystery of the disappearance of the ancient city's inhabitants beneath the dark waters of the Mariana Trench continues to captivate researchers, challenging our understanding of history and the capabilities of ancient civilizations. Technologies of the past. The secrets and lost technologies used by the builders of the ancient underwater city are astonishing in their sophistication. Scientists have discovered remnants of complex mechanisms and devices that have been remarkably preserved under a thick layer of water. These artifacts clearly point to a highly developed civilization that we are only beginning to understand. Among the finds are mysterious crystals, which were likely used for energy storage. Their structure is unique and unlike anything known to science. Fragments of instruments were also found, which may have served as control devices for underwater vehicles or mechanisms. These devices might have used the energy of ocean currents or thermal gradients for their purposes. On the walls of some structures, drawings have been preserved depicting complex mechanisms and diagrams, which could have been blueprints or technological maps. These drawings indicate an understanding of principles that still remain a mystery to us. In addition to this, remnants of communication systems have also been discovered, possibly analogues of modern radio transmitters. These devices could have used the natural electromagnetic fields of the ocean to transmit signals over long distances. Interestingly, the materials from which they are made resemble modern alloys with unique anti-corrosive properties, which explains their remarkable preservation. It is also worth noting the traces of materials used and allergic reactions to them among other inhabitants, which indicates highly developed medicine and genetic engineering. All of this together points to a civilization that possessed not only technological knowledge, but also a deep understanding of its environment. Even despite the passage of time, these discoveries opened the door to a world that seemed to have disappeared forever. Research continued to unravel this puzzle, hoping that uncovering past technologies will shed light on forgotten pages of history and perhaps inspire modern scientific discoveries. But many mysteries still lie ahead, and each new discovery raises new questions that await answers from the depths of the ocean. Light and shadow on the ocean floor, nature or art? When the lights of the underwater expedition's robots once again illuminated the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the researchers could not believe their eyes. Against the gloomy backdrop of the dark ocean, the outlines of unusual formations appeared, as if playing with perception and creating astonishing illusions. Stone structures shifting into bizarre shapes would appear and disappear from view, forming mysterious images and patterns. These stunning light effects resembled the work of a talented sculptor using light as a tool to create art. Particular curiosity was sparked by strange mineral formations that refracted light in unpredictable directions, creating an entire palette of colors and shades on the floor. Every movement of the robot's camera revealed new aspects of this unique spectacle, leaving scientists puzzled about its origins. One of the most striking discoveries was the underwater avenues, rows of stone blocks that, when illuminated, emitted bright flashes as if greeting visitors from another era. Scientists seriously wondered whether this was the result of a random play of nature or if the hand of an ancient master was at work here, skillfully using minerals and light to create such effects. These impressive discoveries not only amazed but also provided a new context for discussion. Researchers began to consider the possibility that such optical phenomena might have been used in religious or cultural ceremonies, serving as an important part of the lives of ancient inhabitants. This discovery added yet another layer to the complex mystery of the underwater city, making scientists puzzle over whether this was nature's play or traces of a long-lost culture that used light as an art form. The answer to this question could become the key to unraveling many mysteries of the past. Legacy of the depths. What did the ancient inhabitants of the ocean leave behind? The underwater city at the bottom of the Mariana Trench keeps its secrets, and the legacy of its inhabitants continues to amaze with its mystery and complexity. Among the scientists' discoveries, unique artifacts stand out in particular, which still leave researchers puzzled about their purpose. One of these is the mysterious structures found in the very center of the city. These massive stone columns, covered with incomprehensible signs and symbols, resemble something like ancient gathering centers or temples. Scientists suggest that they might have been used for rituals or gatherings of the city's inhabitants, but their true nature remains unknown. In one section of the underwater city, scientists discovered something special, strange vessels that were likely used for storing resources. The remnants found inside them indicate the use of rare minerals and elements, which may point to highly advanced knowledge in the fields of chemistry and biology. Equally intriguing is the underwater archive of collected objects and records that was discovered, which may have served to transmit knowledge or history among the inhabitants. These documents, although damaged by time, have nevertheless preserved some of the text, which scientists are now trying to decipher. Among the artifacts found were also small statues depicting unknown creatures, clearly different from anything known to science. These figurines may have symbolized the beliefs or myths of the ancient people, or perhaps depicted real creatures that inhabited the oceans. The legacy of the depths is not limited to material discoveries alone. Musical instruments and acoustic devices preserved underwater indicate that the inhabitants had their own musical culture, which they could share and develop even under conditions of extreme pressure. This discovery highlights that the ancient inhabitants of the trench were capable of creating and preserving a cultural heritage with an emphasis on art and science. All these findings show that the inhabitants of the underwater city left behind a complex and multi-layered legacy that continues to amaze and inspire researchers. They lift the veil on a world that vanished into the depths of the ocean, yet left behind traces capable of changing our understanding of both the past and the future.